Case Strategy Simplified. Today, we're sharing the top consulting firms in the world for 2023. These are the best of the best firms. And while everyone knows about McKinsey, BCG, Bain, there are hundreds of other consulting firms out there that offer great client service and a fantastic professional experience. But how do you know which consulting companies would be best for your specific career path? That's where this episode comes in. If you're an aspiring consultant, don't stop at the top 3 consulting firms, because there are many other aspects to consider when looking at which consulting firm would be right for you. Let's dive in. All right, just a couple of notes before we get into the top consulting firms. First, the criteria that we use to rank firms include 7 factors: prestige, culture, compensation, work-life balance, type of project work, firm size, and future business outlook. So that is how we ranked these top firms. The second note is that there are many ways to categorize consulting firms. So for this episode, for the sake of this comparison, we've organized this list around types of consulting firms. In addition, we want it to be MICI, which means mutually exclusive, collectively exhaustive. In other words, each of the top firms will only fall into one category. Make sure to check out the link in the show notes for more information on each firm, including revenue, prestige, employee considerations, and more. All right, let's dive into the list. The first category is MBB. These are the top firms in the world. They have the best comp. They have amazing exit opportunities, great people, very smart people to work with. Each of these firms, McKinsey, Bain, and BCG, has a foundation in core strategy, but they've since expanded to offer many other services as well. Of course, as with any consulting jobs, you're going to work long hours, you're going to work long weeks, and the internal culture at MBB is very competitive, so it's not for everyone, but these are some of the top consulting firms in the world. The second category of top consulting firms is general management and strategy consulting. If you want to do the sexy strategy work, then the firms in this category all do that. Plus, they have a high level of prestige inside the industry. These types of firms work on projects focused on setting strategic direction, pricing, organic and M&A growth strategy, sales, organization, and more. The firms in this category, in alphabetical order, are Advancy, EY Parthenon, Kearney, LEK, OC&C, Oliver Wyman, Roland Berger, and PwC Strategy and. So those are the general management and strategy consulting firms. Very high prestige in the industry, very well known, very good places to work, and most of them pay really well on top. The next category in this list of top consulting firms brings us to our accounting, finance, and technology firms. This category does include the big 4 firms. That means Deloitte, EY, KPMG, and PwC. And all the firms on this list are generally very big, both in terms of headcount and in revenue, as well as a high prestige factor. If we had to choose a one-stop shop category, this would be it. These firms do a lot. They have a broad range of services, everything from accounting to technology consulting to IT to strategy and operations consulting. Now, if any of these firms on this list are on your list to transition into, to break into this year, we've got loads of free and paid resources to help you make that transition. Visit our website, managementconsulted.com, or simply send us an email for specific personalized next steps. The email is team@managementconsulted.com. All right, continuing on brings us to economic and litigation firms. These firms use advanced economic theories, tools, principles, and applications to help companies understand the value of assets or develop unique strategies. In addition, they also tend to work alongside law firms to help place a value on the impact of illegal market behavior. Needless to say, these firms are often filled with super smart folks. Now, think PhD or other master's degrees. The firms on this list, there's just 2 firms, Analysis Group and Bates White Economic Consulting. So that is our economic and litigation consulting firms. Okay, take a breath. We're about halfway through this list of top consulting firms. The next category is operations and turnaround firms. Now, ops and turnaround consultants often will design new pricing strategies, they'll be involved in sourcing key inputs, or they get heavily involved in sales execution. In addition, when firms are facing or are actually in bankruptcy, they often turn to these operations and turnaround firms to help them turn it around. There are 4 firms on this list. That includes Alex Partners, Alvarez and Marsal, Insight Sourcing Group, and the Keystone Group. Most of these are very well known in the industry, especially for this type of work. And they all make fantastic places to work. And you have a range from big to small. The Keystone Group is a very small firm. Alex Partners, a couple thousand people, and everything in between. The next category, and this is a new category for the 2023 Top Consultings list, is private equity consulting firms. Now, these firms serve clients throughout each stage of the mergers and acquisitions process, and they tend to be industry agnostic. Work at these firms is often deal-driven, meaning there are often certain periods of time that are more intense and demanding because you're working to get the deal done. The 2 firms on this list are Palmtree as well as Stax, both phenomenal places to work. They're both up-and-comers in the industry. They do amazing work. They've got amazing people inside the firms, and they pay well. All right, next category, and this only has one contender. It is Mercer. It is a human resources consulting firms. Now, HR consulting firms do mostly people work. Things like helping companies set a compensation and benefit strategy, upskill their workforces, implement DEI strategies, and much more. And the work is often more qualitative than quantitative, especially as compared to a McKinsey, Bain, or BCG. And here in the human resources consulting firms category, Mercer is the undisputed leader. All right, second to last category is non-profit consulting firms. Now, non-profit consultants work on strategy development, operations, HR, or organizational issues, but they focus only on non-profit clients. In this category, Bridgespan is the sole contender, and they do carry a lot of weight in the industry. Now, are there other non-profit consultancies? A few, but none that hold a candle to Bridgespan's depth of expertise and history of excellence. And the firm was born out of Bain & Company some time ago. So there you go, Bridgespan, the only contender in the nonprofit consulting firms category. All right, last but certainly not least, on this list of top consulting firms brings us to industry-focused firms. We've got 5 firms in this list. And what we mean by industry-focused is each of these firms focus on a specific industry, like healthcare, energy, etc., or a specific function, so supply chain and market research. You get the picture. All right, let's go through the list of industry-focused firms. First is Altman Solon. The company focuses solely on the telecom, media, and tech sectors. Next is Clearview Healthcare Partners, an established healthcare consulting firm. Next on the list is DeciBio. DeciBio is also in the healthcare life sciences industry, but they go a little bit deeper by focusing specifically on precision medicine. The next firm here is Guidehouse, focusing on the financial services, healthcare, and energy sectors. And finally, to round out this entire list is Putnam, formerly Putnam Associates, again another firm serving healthcare. So there you have it, the best of the best firms. Make sure to check out the link in the show notes for more information on each firm, as well as our guides on how to break into the consulting industry. In addition, our team is always one email away and happy to answer any questions you might have. Email is team@managementconsulted.com. Thanks for listening to the podcast. We work with dozens of consulting firms each year to fill job openings and build their brands through co-created, curated, and evergreen content. Reach out today for more information on these services. team@managementconsulted.com. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a rating and review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, as it does help to get the word out to more folks. Thanks again for listening. We'll catch you next week.